This is my fifth video about crafting, and I want to explain to you how crafting tags work in this game. To see crafting tags, you go to this website craftofexile.com, and by default it will be on the calculator. From this you can select the base groups, for example body armor, let's just say text. This right here will give you some modifiers. These are the base modifiers that can appear on an item. This tags modifier apply even to other items that have influence. But basically, uh, each modifier, I mean, not every modifier, but most modifiers will have a tag. There are for example, some modifiers. I think there are on rings. Let's go on rings to explain it better. Uh, Basically, on rings, there are some modifiers which don't have a tag, like for example, increased variety of item found. I think this is also on amulets and belts. Um, this cannot be targeted. There is a chance of you increasing. There is a way for you to increase this modifier from appearing, and that is by blocking other modifiers. So, for example, um, you can target when you're crafting. You can either target directly this modifier, or you can block other modifiers from appearing, and what that will do, it will increase the chance of the item of the modifier that you want to appear much more. Because if, for example, let's just say we remove all life modifiers and all mana modifiers from this weighting of 62,000, we subtract 21,000. That means all the other modifiers will appear much often because their weighting didn't change, but the total weighting changed. So this is one way you can target tags to craft. This is especially good when you're going to craft a wand for minions, one-handed weapons. So, for example, if you look at this +1 to level of all spell skill gems, it's a caster and a gem. To target a gem modifier, or in general to target modifiers, it's going to be either with fossils, it's going to be with crafting bench, cannot roll attack like this, or cannot roll caster, or it's going to be with harvest. But most of the time it's going to be fossils. If you want to hit this modifier right here and to hit +1 to minion skill gems, if you look at fossils, it's the only fossil that can give you gem modifiers is going to be faceted. However, if you go and hit compute best selection, what this would do, the computer will calculate what is the best approach, and you will see that it will not use a faceted, because it will use a different approach to target these modifiers, and you will see it very soon. There you go. So it says that it will take you only 12 tries, and the best way to do it, it's going to be corroded, jagged, metallic, and shattering. Now let's see um, each fossil what it does. So corroded, when you click it, it says block elemental, fire, cold, and lighting. Now pay attention to these modifiers. When I hit corroded here, when I click it, all these modifiers are now removed from the pool. They are targeted by this corroded. Basically, it blocks them from ever appearing. Now shattering will block any modifier related to mana. You hit shattering. Now all the modifiers that are left and that can appear is going to be physical, with a tag of damage and physical attack, some caster, some physical, once again some minion, and some physical. Now it's going, now when I hit jagged, it will block physical, and no, jagged blocks chaos. Let's see, did I do it right? Yeah, so jagged will block this +1 chaos. So this is why we use jagged, and then it's going to go, metallic is going to block physical. And now what you are left with is going to be minions deal increased damage, increased spell damage, and all these, all the other two modifiers that are left. So um, this is how the tags can be useful, and you don't have to target a specific tag, but you can to get it. Like for example, you don't need to use faceted to get this. You can use other fossils to target to block other modifiers from appearing. Now you don't have to, when you're crafting with fossils, um, you don't have to figure this out yourself. You just right click on this, you just left click on the modifier that you want. So for example, I want minion skill gems and I want +1, and then you just hit compute best selection, and this will do everything for you. You don't have to think it. Um, but I will just explain it to you how it works basically. I'm not gonna cancel it because I've already done it. Now, another thing would be to go to the emulator. When you go to the emulator, create new item. Um, let's just say that we make a cluster tree. It doesn't matter what we select here. Here you can select harvest crafting, and harvest crafting also has some tags. These are the tags that can be used for harvest crafting. It's going to be attack, caster, chaos, cold, critical, defense, fire, lightning, physical, speed, and influence. Um, the difference between harvest and fossils, I'm not sure if I explained it, so I'm going to go over it quickly. But basically, when you are using a fossil, for example, if I'm using a dense fossil, this dense fossil, some fossils block, and it increases the weighting of this of the defense modifier or whatever modifier it says here that it increases by 10. But this does not mean that your chance multiplies by 10, because what happens is your weighting increases by 10 on this modifier, but the weighting increases by 10 on this modifier as well and on this modifier as well. So the total weighting is going to get increased, and your chance is not going to be 10x. If the only defense modifier was this modifier right here with increased evasion rating, actually the chance would be much higher than 10x, because it also blocks these mods from ever appearing. So it removes them from the total weighting. The total weighting will go down, and this will have a higher chance. So if this modifier right here was the only defense modifier and you were to use a dense fossil, your chance of getting this modifier would be much higher than 10 times what it is without it. But you don't have to think it, because Path of Exile does it for you. Basically, right now to hit this tier 1 modifier, it says that I have 2.5% chance, and when I use dense fossil, you will see that it's not 10%, it's going to be 4.8%. If you want to go into the math of how this works, you can do it yourself, but basically, because it increases the weighting of this and of this as well, and also of this, and because it removes these modifiers from the pool, um, this is how you end up with this chance. You can do the math yourself to make sure it's right, but basically this is how it works. And another way to target and harvest, let's continue. Harvest does not increase your chance of receiving a caster modifier or a chaos modifier. It only guarantees you one of these modifiers. Um, For example, if I spam Reforged Chaos on an item, it's always going to give me at least one chaos modifier. If there are more modifiers of chaos, it's going to choose from one of them, but if there is only one chaos modifier that can appear, for example chaos resistance, it's only going to give me chaos resistance. So this is the difference. Dense fossils increases your chance of seeing uh, a modifier, and also blocks in some cases some modifiers. Other fossils only lesser the times you see a certain modifier, and some fossils like faceted only increases the chance of you seeing that modifier by 10, or increases their weighting by 10. Uh, Whereas harvest does not increase your chance of seeing a chaos modifier or a cold modifier. It only guarantees you one cold modifier or one chaos modifier. If there are more, it's going to choose one, only one, and the chance of you seeing the other modifiers, it's going to be the same as just spamming normal chaos on an item. So this was about tags in Craft of Exile.